Hiya, my name's Yana, and today I was going to do a bit more of a subtle eyeshadow look with a big black liner. It's not something I usually do. I do prefer colour. I'm a big girl for colour eyeshadows and everything, but hey, we've all got to try new things, and this is something I haven't done in quite a while. But you can see I've already got my foundation on and set it with powder. I've got a little bit of highlighter and bronzer and blush on as well. It's a bit brighter in sunlight than it is under this light, but I don't want to go too crazy because I do have to go out today. I'm not a big fan of smacking on all the contour for every day. Yes, for a night out. Yes, when you're going to get a whole heap of photos taken, definitely. But for everyday look, I think it's a bit much. So I prefer a bit more subtle. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a kind of goldeny eye look with a black wing. And I'm actually going to do a lot of it with my, well, this is Illuminator. It is also a highlighting and it is also a contouring kind of basics. This is an Hourglass one that I bought and I'm obsessed with. And you can see it comes in 3 different shades. And I've actually got a mixture of these two in kind of the hollows of my cheeks, and I find it's just a really good colour for me, that it's not too dark a contour, and also it kind of looks like up here my head's been kind of reflected out as though I've had a really nice photograph bit edited, which I don't do. I have no filter on my phone. I don't want to look back at photos of myself in 20 years time and go, who the hell is that person, because they're all filtered crazy. Anyway, that's my beef. Don't worry about it. What I'm going to do with my eyes though is I'm going to start with this darker colour, and I'm actually going to, I still do a bit of a tap because you don't want too much of it, but I'm going to put this actually all the way across my lids, and I'm going to drag it out to the side and up to where it kind of connects into what highlighter I've already got there, what contour I've already got up there, which is this exact colour. So it kind of all looks like it's reflected out in the same way, in the way the the light reflects off it. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I was yelling on the weekend. So you can see how it's now a little bit darker here. It's much easier to see on this side because I do have a window beside me. So on that side I get an extra bit of brightness, unfortunately. But let's do this side as well and try and get them matched up and evenly. You can see I'm going right over the top of my brows as well because I really want it to connect out to where this is on my temples and basically where I've got this kind of contoury shape going, so it all connects. How are we looking? I think I've got a bit more on the other eye. Up higher, let's get a bit more of this going. Ooh, sparkly. So far I'm pretty impressed with this. Now I didn't mention that. I actually put concealer on my eyelids. I normally just use like an eyeshadow primer and then put my eyeshadow straight over that. But because I'm going for this bit more goldeny look, I needed to put the concealer all up there so it all kind of blends in and tries to highlight the bags under my eyes today. So now I'm going to actually add a little bit of gold glitter. This is an Urban Decay palette I got a couple of years ago, but you know, it's eyeshadow, you can use it forever or until it goes gross. You're supposed to throw them out every few years, but no. When they start to smell funny, that's when you should throw it out. If you've used it on somebody else's face and it turns out they've got a skin infection, definitely throw it out if you've dipped a brush into it again. But otherwise, they really do keep for a long time. Shh, don't tell the manufacturers. Anyway, this one has got some really nice golds. This green is far too dark, unfortunately. It looks beautiful here, but on your face it just looks ridiculous. And that blue kind of makes me look like I've got a black eye, which I should do one day just for fun. But some of these other ones up the top, I really like. The Heat Wave and the Blaze are really great colours. What's that called? 16th Street. I've never actually looked at the colour names. Who looks at colour names? I just go, ooh, shiny. Ooh, shiny. Gold shiny. So I'm going to take some of that Blaze, which is the second one from the top, and I'm going to use my finger so that I can really pack that shimmer on. And I'm going to put a little bit of it into that inner corner of my eye. I'll do the same on this side. I think I just put a tiny bit of it on top of my nose. Whoops. Let's try and get them even. first. And then I'm going to use the slightly darker one on the outer corner. And again, I'm just going to put a little bit there. I'm not going for a really big look, so I just want a tiny bit of this up here. And then just going to use a clean fluffy brush to give everything a bit of a blend together, to make sure there are no harsh lines there, to make sure that shimmer all looks nice. I like to wipe any excess off on my wrist or something like that as I go, just in case I end up with too much of the dark one on the brush. I'm just going to check my little hand mirror, because of course it's different when I'm looking in different lights with that stupid window beside me. I think we're looking pretty good. So the eye itself is quite simple eyeshadow. Now, where is my little potted liner? Ugh, has to be completely out of reach, doesn't it? I'll be back. And by the power of movie magic, I'm back. Also, you know, the power of my legs walking 2 steps that way and finding it. Anyway, I've got a little pot of black liner and I've got an angled brush. Technically, you might think of this as more like an eyeshadow brush. They're really good for doing, like, if you've got that pomade in your brows as well. But I like to use them as a liner brush. I find I get really great control with them. The longer a brush handle, the more control you've got, because you hold it like a pencil and you can put it down, you can rest it on your wrist, you can hold right up close if you want a bit more, like really tightly. You can go further down and you get much more control. Okay, so we're going to get our angled brush. Let me see if I can get this in light. And pick up just a small amount on the end of the brush. Again, this is something that I found is so much easier to do now. If you go to your hand or your thumb and you just basically wipe the sides of the brush, whoops, should probably put it in shot. Wipe the sides of the brush, basically pinching those bristles together, and at the same time you're also dispersing the product through all those bristles and making sure that there's not too much product in there. And then you can actually use the angle of the brush and literally go, okay, when it comes to eyeliner, a couple of things you've got to know, particularly if you've got hooded eyelids or you've got wrinkles. If you open your eyes up like this and put your liner on, when you close your eyes, they will be different. You actually need to kind of look head on at your mirror with your eyes kind of like soft opened and place your liner where you want it. I'm not dragging at this point in time, I'm placing. So I've got a little dot there. I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. I'm looking at the angle of my chin. I'm looking at where I want to place it. I'm going to put a little dot there. Then I'm going to have a look at it in straight on. And you can see from looking at it straight on, I've got the angle wrong. That one's kind of going up. This one's kind of going out. So this becomes how to fix it without making a massive mess, without needing to start over again. It is like, I don't understand how some people can get it perfect first time every time. Like, it never happens for me. Never. Nah. And I've been using eyeliner for a very, very long time and I still can't get it right. But the older I get, the more my eyes change, which is really frustrating too. Okay, so we've got 2 choices. We can either try and bring this one on a heavier angle that way to join it, match it with this one, or we can bring this one down a little and put it more of an angle that way. Now that is actually going to be easier to make it go downwards than it is to try and put this one upwards, because I'd have to basically erase the top of that one. But I'm going to very gently and very carefully, now I've stretched my eye out just a little, and I'm going to place my brush and drag my brush along to make that line. I'm going to do the same on this side. And again, if you work left to right, you try not to raise your eyebrows too much and stretch out too far, and you work one side to the other, it is so much easier to get them even as you go. Now I'm going to close this one and try and draw that line in a bit better. And I'm going to close this one. This is this eye here, when I raise my eyebrow, there is so much more movement on this side than that side. No idea why, it's just my body. Now I'm going to go back to my hand to pick up a bit more product, because I'm not going to waste that until it sets. Then I'll just rub it off with some makeup remover, or better yet, I'll leave it there all day long and it'll stay there until I wash my face tonight. Okay, we're going to drag that in. Now this is where, if you actually flick outwards, you can get a much finer point. So I like to put my point on the end after I've done the majority of the work, because if I get the wrong angle, I can kind of disguise it a little. I'm going to need a bit more product. Where did I put that? One on my hand is already dry. So again, just going back in, picking up a tiny bit of product, kind of flattening the brush bristles back out on my hand. And just dragging that little tiny flick of product back up there so I can get a nice long wing, and then I can fill everything in. Now I can either leave it as a skinny wing and leave it how it is, or I can make a chunky wing if I want to. And let's face it, the decision whether you go leave it skinny or make it chunky usually is determined by how even they are and how much you need to try and faff around to get them sorted out and even. Because we all know that's why people have chunky liner. It's not a preference, it's because they're trying to actually fix stuff. If they tell you it was their choice, yeah, right. If you are somebody who loves chunky liner for no reason and can get it perfect every time, please tell me. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. For a while I went to pens for all my liner needs, but the problem with using liner pens is they dry out so quickly, and like the fine tip gets dried out and it becomes useless. And I find I go through them so quickly. They're also terrible if you want to try and create a smoky eye, because you can't blend them. Or the other option is they take 25 minutes to bloody dry and you just blink and make a mess. There's a few of those that I've binned because they were just messy. Usually cheap ones, I've found. For a while there I tried to go to inexpensive brands because I was trying to save money, and in the long run I've actually spent more money because I bought like 3 different Rimmel eyeliners, didn't like any of them, 3 different Revlon, 2 Maybelline, I think there's a couple of L'Oreal ones as well. Like in the space of 6 months I bought more eyeliners because I hated them all. Different kohl ones, different supposedly gel liners, different felt tip ones. And so I've spent more money buying like 12 different liners that I hate, instead of just buying, you know, going back and getting the exact same one that I really like and love, and the same brands that I know work, and that this works, and or the tips work and don't dry out really quickly. It was one Mellow brand. It's a Brisbane, I think, it's based Brisbane-based company in Australia, and their liner was one of the best ones I ever got. I need to go back and buy that again. I wonder if I can find it. There we go. Look at that. In under 14 minutes, with me babbling and losing stuff, and yeah, been able to get it right, get them matching. I'm going to see they're like similar lengths as well. So yeah, I'm gonna finish doing my mascara and my brows and my lips and head out for my day. Let me know if you want me to do anything, if you want any tips, because I'm all about hints and tips and tricks for real people, not you know, people with 20 years experience in the makeup industry. It's hard to get tips from them because they can't remember the mistakes they used to make anymore because it was such a long time ago. So I'm all about the real person. Tell me what you need. Have fun. See ya. Hello again, thought I'd do a quick video under some different lighting so you can have a look at how this turned out. I'm quite happy with this little bit of pink here. It's like really the only pinky color on my face. And we've got lots of nice golden shimmer coming through from all this ambient light stuff in the Hourglass palette and the extra golden shimmer I added on my eyes. I'm pretty happy overall, and I got my wings to match. Yeah! Always, always the hardest part of the challenge. Anyway, thanks guys, bye!